The person who laughs the most in the room is often the one most afraid of being truly seen. Laughter isn't always happiness. Sometimes it's a shield. There's a type of person who walks into any room and instantly spreads energy. They joke, they laugh, they make fun of themselves, and people say he's so fun to be around. But behind that constant humor, there can be a defense mechanism. In the book The Gift of Fear, it talks about the hidden signals people reveal through their behavior, and one of the strongest is excessive laughter. Laughter can be genuine joy, but it can also be a way to gain acceptance or to avoid being exposed. Some people learned early in life that heavy emotions were not welcome. If they got angry, they were ignored. If they felt sad, they were told they were overreacting. If they complained, they were labeled weak. So the mind adapts. Be light, so you're not a burden. That's when laughter becomes a shield. Whenever a conversation gets emotionally deep, they interrupt it with a joke. Whenever they feel uncomfortable, they laugh. Not because it's funny, but because they don't want their vulnerability to be seen. There's a difference between someone who is naturally charismatic and someone who uses humor as a mask. The charismatic person laughs, but can handle silence. They can admit sadness. They don't fear serious moments. The avoidant one laughs in every situation, cuts off deep conversations, and feels anxious when silence appears. Silence feels dangerous because it reveals what's inside. In attachment theory developed by John Bowlby, people who didn't feel emotional safety in childhood learn that being accepted is more important than being authentic. They don't lie, but they constantly soften themselves. Ask yourself, when do you laugh the most? When you're relaxed or when you're tense? When someone asks you a personal question? When the conversation gets close to your feelings? If laughter shows up under pressure, it's not pure joy, it's protection. The person who laughs the most in the room might be the one most afraid of being a burden. They don't want to disturb anyone. They don't want to ask for support, so they choose to be the fun one. The problem isn't laughter. The problem is when laughter becomes the only way you deal with pain. If the laughter disappeared for 1 minute, would you still feel comfortable with yourself? Sometimes, what the funniest person in the room really needs isn't an audience that laughs with them, but someone who listens when they stop laughing.